And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the WordNerd chat, which is about brainstorming. As you can tell by the title, we were brainstorming up until this chat what kind of brainstorming this chat was going to be about. And we're kind of going to just brainstorm everything. We're going to talk about brainstorming and how we do our brainstorming. And you can go ahead and count how many times we say the word brainstorming during this chat. It's going to be a lot. And we're also going to talk about the Sunday chats to begin with, and what kind of topics we want to talk about, and what kind of topics you as viewers would like to see us talk about, and of course participate in. So if you have any ideas, please let us know in the chat. We'll write them down. We'll talk about them, expand on them further. Does any of you guys have anything you want to talk about right off the top of your head for Sunday chats?
I know that Des talked about possibly wanting to run some like video game chats that I think would be really fun. They talked about maybe doing like a Stardew chat where we're like playing Stardew and chatting about it, which would be fun. I'm a total Stardew newbie, so
I will just have to watch those from the sidelines and cheer you guys on.
You can play them on PC.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I don't play any games at all.
It's like it's like a farming sim.
Yeah.
Like you're just like growing stuff and talking to your neighbors.
I'll be like, the cabbages!
Exactly.
Basically.
Vanessa asked, any of the WordNerds playing Disney Dreamlight Valley? I don't know what that is.
It's like Disney's take on Animal Crossing.
Okay, I'm interested.
Disney had to get in on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got video game chats in general.
Yeah. I think it's funny. We like showed up all knowing we were talking about brainstorming, but all thinking what we were going to be discussing was like a slightly different aspect of brainstorming.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about brainstorming process, and these guys thought we were talking about brainstorming for Sunday chats. And
we're doing it all.
Yeah, it's just a brainstorming bonanza.
We planned it this
way. Or if we get so brainstorming for the channel, we can do Aaron's brainstorming process video at a different time.
Yeah.
You guys know this whole chat came from like, we kept planning to make plans about what we're going to talk about now. Like Thursday hit, we didn't have a topic for this week.
Well, I'm going to write down real brainstorming chat on my notebook so we can have an actual chat about brainstorming for Friday.
Enjoy brainstorming.
I do. It's my favorite.
My favorite part. Yeah.
I was gonna say possibly one of my favorite parts. Of
most fun part.
Exactly.
Because it's all the potential and none of the work. So
right. Exactly.
Like, wow, this would totally make me $1 million. If only I would write it.
Like, I'm gonna get into a flow state. This is just like all gonna like come together so easily.
Yeah, I could write this in like, I don't know, a month.
And you're still in that state where it's all like Pinterest board vibes, and
it's the honeymoon phase for book writing.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is gonna be so good.
Almost 10 years into YouTube, brainstorming is the oh god, what have we not talked about in a while? Which was why we like opened even more to just like storytelling in general.
And Griswold wants to bake.
Yes.
More baking.
That was really fun.
It was so much fun.
And I was bad at it, but it was fun. Okay, let's see.
And even just, I think it could maybe be fun. We could maybe think about like other things that like word nerds could share with each other that we enjoy doing. Like Des could teach us how to crochet.
Oh my gosh, I'd be so bad at that. We should do it.
Ooh, Jo Catherine said favorite and least favorite adaptations.
Ooh.
I would love to talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to do another bracket of something.
Yeah.
2 more votes for baking.
Do a bracket of all like the prequel fantasy series characters. Just put them all up against each other.
And Griswold also said, I thought we'd be brainstorming collectively. Yeah, it was like some of us thought we would actually sit down and like brainstorm with viewers. I thought we would just talk about brainstorming. So it was very confusing. But actually that kind of opens up a number of different chat ideas, because we could do both of those things on different Sundays. So
yeah, with this chat we talked about
this Sunday. Right.
because we could literally, I think it would be fun and ridiculous to get together with the word nerds and the viewers and write like a story together, like a short, ridiculous story. It's like, it's like the same vibe as when you get together with friends and you put like, you go around the circles like once upon a time and each one has a different word. It would be like much more complicated and chaos than that, but something along those lines would be really fun.
Since the idea of watching us learn to crochet and all that chaos sounds like a good time, doing some sort of like paint night where we all just get like dollars for canvas and paints, and like somebody describes the thing and we all just try to paint a thing.
Yes.
Hilarious.
So bad. Yes.
You could like Mad Lib it. Like,
oh my god.
It's like a color.
We could just do Mad Libs.
Yeah, there we go. Mad Libs.
Yes. That would be terrible, and I think we should absolutely do it. I think I like more chats where we just fully embrace the chaos. Like the baking
100%.
was good, and yeah.
I think our Mad Libs, we should like take classic 2000s YA novels and just like pull all the adjectives and nouns.
Oh my god.
It's Twilight Mad Libs or something.
Yeah, just like make it from book blurbs kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. Covers, guys. You could do the back blurb of something and then you have to draw your own interpretation of the YA cover.
Oh my gosh.
It would be so bad. It would be good. With YA covers. I love that idea. It will be Stickman. Here's a Stickman vampire. This is Edward.
I still want to do a PowerPoint night.
Yes. I have so many PowerPoint ideas. I know nothing to do with them.
Can the presentation just be on anything? It's just like
literally anything, whatever you're
throwback
like,
to college presentation. About. Okay.
Yeah.
PowerPoint night. Excellent. And the more ridiculous your PowerPoint is, the more points you get.
I have an idea that I'm very excited about.
Nice. What's a Jamboard? Joe Catherine said if we had a joint Jamboard, we could all draw a stick for guys.
Like a virtual whiteboard that you can like people use it for like online classes and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, that's a
It'd
good
be fun
idea.
to find stuff like, I think it was Ultimate Werewolf, like games we can play with viewers.
Okay. More games nights, I'm hearing. I really liked what we did with the tropes, like trope off, basically, if we can find something else like similar to that.
Yeah, I think Vanessa said something like that as well.
Just like Joe Catherine says, I would pay money to watch y'all learn to crochet over the internet. Yeah.
I could maybe crochet, like learn to crochet via the internet. I tried to learn knitting once and had to immediately give up because I'm left-handed. I couldn't. I found like 2 videos that were for lefties.
Aw, it's too bad. I tried to teach myself how to what's calligraphy. I tried to teach myself how to do that, and it was not good. It looked like my 4-year-old wrote it.
I went through like a calligraphy phase in like 7th grade or something. But, like me and my friends all got like the calligraphy like markers and like we're learning to do it.
Yeah, well,
I don't remember any of it.
You were probably better than me in your 7th grade efforts. I was. It was bad.
Andrew said, when I rewatch live chats, you all say all the time we should totally do X and then never go back to it. Can I remember any of them right now? Of course not.
None of us
understand our plight.
This time Erin's writing things down.
Yeah.
I am. Look at me. I'm all over that. Because I brought this because I thought we were brainstorming. So voila, brainstorming.
We can also do like a life check-in today. Just how people are doing.
A life check-in,
like a lot of people have had big life things happening. So
hello, cool gamer. Also, Joe Catherine says, when I write messy, all my students think it's cursive. I love that. Do kids learn cursive in school anymore? Is that a thing that is taught to be, because it's not like I ever used it. I learned it in school, but
Yeah, I don't believe so.
I don't know any children the right age to be learning cursive in
Mm.
school.
Interesting. Yeah, because we were taught it in school and made to write cursive a lot of the time, and then it was just like, well, that was useless.
Like we were taught it, but never really made to use it.
Yeah.
But I like writing in cursive. I do it sometimes just because
Oh,
sometimes it can be
Yeah.
faster.
fancy.
My handwriting is
I never
a
do.
mashup. Half
Mhm.
cursive, half not.
The only time I do cursive is my like outrageously messy signature, and that's about it.
Same. So just looking at back over our videos, the most popular recently was dramatically our read-in. So probably
Really?
Yeah, I saw
More
those
read-ins.
stats. I wasn't there that week, and I logged into YouTube that evening, and I was like, why did so many people? I mean, obviously read-ins are fun. So that's why so many people watched it. But it was a surprising number.
It must be
Yeah.
just like a YouTube algorithm thing.
Yeah, probably. But I really like read-ins also because like I get journaling done and stuff, like because it's kind of chill. You can just do whatever, you know.
Yeah.
More
And we have
read-ins.
talked about like doing a craft night kind of equivalent. Of, like we're all just working on stuff, like what we do with
Work
us.
party, right?
Up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
work parties.
Roscoe
From
Rose
Minecraft.
said, I live. Welcome. We are glad that you live. And
Yeah,
we're glad
that-
you
that
are
makes us
spending some
happy.
of that living time with us.
Yeah.
Work parties. More write-ins, obviously.
Yeah. Well,
That's
we're
a
already
given.
like a chunk into September, and October tends to be a lot of nano prep. So
Preptober, baby.
Nano prep. I will write that down.
Preptober would be a great time for a chat about our brainstorming process.
Oh my god. I wonder if we did that like a year ago.
Probably.
It's about time to do it again.
Heck
I
yeah.
wouldn't mind doing it more like was it last year we did.
We did that brainstorming bonanza at the end of the month, right?
Yeah, like
Mm.
we did everything kind of workshoppy, like we talked about it. So less structured this year, but maybe more like, okay, let's talk about it and now brainstorm for 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, I'd like that.
We
quite a
did,
lot.
yeah. We did a workshop. I remember that. I remember
Yeah.
I think Megan ran it. Where it was kind of like prompts, right? But have we done one where one of us or all of us have brought like an idea and had a timed brainstorming session so people can actually see like us interact and brainstorm, and then the chat can brainstorm and stuff?
That could be
We haven't.
fun.
Yeah,
I
'cause
mean,
we haven't
that is
really
what
done
Project
that.
Spoiler is.
Yeah, that's true. It's just like 2.5 hours of it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it'd be fun to also be able to get the Word Nerd watchers involved and
Yeah.
having their ideas and stuff too. That'd be kind of fun. Brainstorming for Preptober. There we go.
Roscoe Rose has a comic update. There's a new genre since steampunk is a placeholder. Let us know.
Yeah, what's the new genre? We're interested. Yeah, also we can just kind of do a little check-in, see how everybody's week/month is going. Are you doing Preptober/Nano? Yeah.
I am. That means I have like a hard deadline to finish my revisions by.
That's exciting.
I really want to do my like Hill House, but it's a bakery.
Yes. Such a good idea.
So, and I had some good ideas for it recently because it was very serious. And then I looked at my current work in progress and I was like, well, why would I make it so serious if the other one happened to be like a first book that came out? They wouldn't match up well. So now it's chaotic, even more chaotic.
Nice. I want to try to do Nano this year. I have failed the last few years. Not failed like, because if I do it at all, I don't count it as a failure. Failed as in like forgot that it was Nano and didn't do it type of thing. So I'd love to do it this time with something. We'll see. Roscoe Rose says, I'm doing an LGBTQ magical boy with very high fantasy. That sounds
Fun.
amazing.
I would
Anyone
also
else?
love to do a bookish check-in. One that's like pretty structured on the end of taking notes on the books for people, but just getting to talk about like we're approaching the end of the year. What have people been reading?
Let's go to here. End of year. Bookish. Check-in. I also
really
think
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, I was gonna say, or really just any media. I feel like it's been like there have been great books out this year. I particularly feel like this year's been really great for TV, and I would love to talk about all the TV things.
Oh, definitely.
I keep watching things that I'm like, this is it. I'm gonna be obsessed over this now. And then like 2 months later, something else comes out.
Something new,
well, I do still really love that, but like, wow, look at this one too, and it just keeps happening again and again and again.
Yeah, the fact that like at one point, like a month or two ago, I realized I'd like forgotten that like Yellow Jackets was this year. Like I'd like forgotten about Yellow Jackets. Like I was like, oh my gosh, that was like such a big deal and so good.
Consume me just all year.
Yeah, because that was like, how long ago was that? Earlier in the year? Because I marathoned that. I forgot about that.
Ooh, I see your comment, Melissa. Said Megan and Aaron, you should watch Devil in Ohio for inspiration.
I keep having that recommended to me, and I keep eyeballing it. So
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, I'll have to put that on my list. I also want to put down in the little brainstorming thing that I want to do another end of the year party if we can, because goal parties are like crack to me for some reason. I really, really enjoy them, even if it's just like ridiculous goals that I know will never happen. I still get like really excited about making goals and making flow charts and stuff for the next year. So. Goal party.
Speaking of parties,
Christmas goal party.
This or something soon should probably be a birthday party, which is an easy chat to play.
Yes,
we turn 9 at some point.
WordNerd's 9th birthday.
That's weird,
right?
The WordNerds are so old now.
Hello, the Bird of Inferno.
Hello. Misty Kate is doing Preptober. Didn't do much in July or since then. I get it. Me too. Kay Wrestler, I'm writing a novel version of the D&D campaign I completely homebrewed for my friends. That is awesome.
Fun.
Very cool. And Drew Walker says first. What's that?
Oh, I was gonna say it makes me think of Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. That one felt very much like a cozy D&D campaign.
Andrew Walker says, for the first time since I started nanoing, I don't have an idea yet. Well, maybe we will brainstorm something at the end of this chat. Roscoe Rosa, I can't believe I've been watching you guys for 9 years. Yeah, we can't believe that either.
Look at how far.
What are you doing? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, it's been longer than I thought. We're just babies.
I know. Aaron and Kelly have published many books in that time. Check them out.
3. That's not many.
I think it's many.
Oh, thank you.
To traditionally publish 3 books in 9 years.
Many. Bird of Inferno. I wrote 40K of a draft in July, so I'm taking it easy for Nano with world building and short stories, so minimal prep required. That sounds nice, honestly. Sometimes I get like the urge to write short stories again because it is like still a really good exercise in teaching yourself, like improving your craft, but it's not like the same commitment that a novel is, you know? Maybe I'll do that. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing, so.
I had big dreams of getting really good at short stories this fall, and then it was really hard because it's not a format that I'm used to.
It's very hard.
So I won.
It's very hard.
And I did do a flash fiction. So
nice.
That was on you.
I feel like that's a really hard art form to do.
I need to read more of them, and I don't find a ton I feel like I should like short stories more than I do, but I struggle to find ones I really like. Like when I'm reading anthologies, for the most part, there's a couple I enjoy. And
I honestly got a lot of my flash fiction inspiration from like people doing fiction on Twitter. Like people write really good, very short form stories on Twitter.
Yeah, that's actually if I read a short story, it will be something online, and it would be very short. Like sometimes even on Tumblr and stuff. It's not something I go seeking out, but occasionally I'll stumble across somebody who's done something funny or spooky, and it's basically short form fiction on Tumblr or Twitter or whatever. And I'll be like, oh, that was really good.
If anyone has any tips for finding them on Twitter easier, I would love to know, because I always stumble on them. They're almost always the ones I find are horrors, because Twitter knows me. And I'll get to the end, and then I'll suspect partway through that it's fiction, but get to the end and then find out it's fiction. And so I'd love a way to like find those easier.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about that a little bit with the the Watcher channel on YouTube, and that's what they do. You write a short story. It's always horror, usually from first person point of view, and then you send it in, and they'll pick one and they'll read it, and they put like sound effects in the background, and they have an artist that draws pictures and everything. It's really well done, and it's really cool. Like I've always thought about writing a short story and sending it in, but like I said, every time I try to start a short story, I'm like, this is bad. I haven't read enough short stories, and I need to put this aside and educate myself, but I never get around to it.
Kind of fun side note, I'm enjoying the TikTok trend of like people doing the just like text on screen summary of what's happening in their life, but it's like the plot of a book, and you don't figure it out to the end. You're like, this is insane. This is your life. They're like, oh no. Hashtag book talk.
Oh, that's funny.
I saw someone do that in a story time form, and it was that book Honey Girl. They had me all the way till the end. I was like, wait a minute. I've read that book.
Yeah. This isn't you're talking about. Yeah, the internet has opened up really cool ways of doing basically, flash fiction, especially with the added element of like, you don't know if it's real or not until you reach the end.
Erin, read Vanessa's comment.
Yes, read Vanessa's comment.
Erin, I'm a teacher, and I saw two of my students sitting together. One was reading Road Tells the Witches, and the other was reading oh my gosh, Escape to Witch City. Oh my gosh, you just made me so happy, Vanessa. That's so cool and adorable. Oh my gosh. That's like made my month. That's amazing. Thank you for telling me that.
And Griswold said, I'm having an idea. It's a little crazy. You know how you go to a bookstore or library and they have a book wrapped in craft paper with a vague description. What if we do something similar? But I feel like there's a second half of the comment.
Dun, dun, dun. And Griswold, what?
A cliffhanger.
You're leaving us hanging here. Speaking of short story format here. What happens next? And Grinwald says, sorry, a hold for a library book was about to expire. Well, we get it. You gotta get to the important stuff. Melissa says, trying to finish the third book in a trilogy, Angels and Demons, but about a bad anxiety offended me for a while, jumping back in with both feet. Yeah, been there, done that.
Been there, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to concentrate on reading if anxiety is, constantly in the background or the foreground in most of our cases. But yeah, I think I read Angels and Demons. Is there 3 of them? The Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and then a third one? I don't know.
Could not tell you.
I enjoyed the first
Melissa
one.
says trying to finish the third book in a trilogy, Angels and Demons.
Oh, okay, then, yes. Oh my gosh, Roscoe Rose says, throwback. I remember reading Too Many Teeth on Wattpad. That was my very interesting delve into the world of Toothless from, what's the show called? Vikings?
Oh, I was like, How to Train Your Dragon?
Yes, thank you. My brain
was How to Train Your Dragon.
short-circuited.
The Vikings is a very different vibe.
Yeah.
No. I was like trying to say they're
I was
Vikings.
joking.
They ride dragons. Somebody give me the title. Yeah, that was my How to Train Your Dragon fan fiction.
Nice.
Yeah. Truly excellent literary feat.
So maybe like a spin on Anne Griswold's idea of like, so one chat we have people like viewers or whatever, we brainstorm like adjectives, whatever, and the next week we have to like all rate our bookshelves and try to come up with books that fit the best. Just like, or we can like argue whose book is the better fit for all the descriptions or something.
That could be fun.
That'd be fun. It's like blind date with a genre. Like you could pick a genre you like, but everyone's gonna pick the tropes and things that have to go in it.
I do think at some point we should just do a book club, but like in chaos mode. So everyone has to be a little bit tipsy.
Yes. I will be there.
But somebody can do a dramatic reading of Twilight and we're all a little tipsy. I would also take that.
If my vampire book sells, I want that to be the celebration party.
That sounds amazing. It's just a chaos, slightly drunk book launch.
Yeah, I feel like, am I supposed to be talking about my book? No, I've got you all locked in now.
I will be there with a bottle of wine. Roscoe Rosen says, and thanks to someone, I still call my computer a compy. Me? Was it me? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I used to. We had a roommate, Emma and I had a roommate who called computers compies, and I'm pretty sure I picked that up for a time.
I do not remember this.
Yeah, Allie used to all the time.
Oh my god.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but I don't remember it.
Melissa says, I'm writing the third book. It's about angels and demons. Oh, okay. That makes so much more sense. I was confused. Joe Catherine says, everyone is tipsy and read a different book, but we're trying to discuss them without explaining anything.
Okay, so there's a board game that like you're all doing a heist or something, and so everybody but one person knows where the heist is or something. So the other person has to like fake that they are part of the gang and not infiltrating it or whatever. So like a book club discussion, but one person doesn't know. And it'll just be like 5-minute rounds picking a book or whatever. And so the rest of us have to try to figure out.
Title,
yeah,
one person doesn't get it.
Yeah, and the rest of us have to like figure out who the imposter at book club is, kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
And like a bonus, one person doesn't have to read a book for book club.
I was thinking more just like a game. Like we'll just use past book club things and do like lightning rounds.
Perfect.
Book club imposter chat. I'm writing that down. Who's infiltrating
like
the book club?
Chameleon. That's what that reminds me of.
I think I'd be really.
Who's not reading? I think we'd have to find a way to like each round draw that it so we don't know who.
We'd have to. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's.
There's got to be an app that can do it.
Yeah.
And if there's not, I think I could maybe build one. I don't have many skills, but that might be within reach.
I feel like I would be pretty good at bullshitting and pretending I know because having lived with ADHD all my life, it's like a lot of like, I wasn't paying attention to what anyone said. So, yeah, that part was really good.
I am so bad at that.
A special set of skills. Roscoe Rose says, idea, drunk dramatic reading of Harry Potter. I don't know how people would do that dramatically. I think it would have to be like Twilight or
Chuck Wendig book.
What's that?
A Chuck Wendig book.
A Chuck One
Tingle.
Tingle. Yes. Chuck Tingle. We need to
Or
do a
Chuck Tingle. Yeah, that's
book
how I meant Chuck
club.
Tingle. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Chuck Tingle book club is going down in the ideas.
I think that might
List.
get us demonetized.
Yes, it definitely would. We would not be putting the ads on that one. Chuck Tingle book club night. That might be the one we would need the wine for. So if we're reading like Taken by the T-Rex or whatever, I'm gonna need a couple of glasses. Tingle book club. Yeah, that was a really good idea, Joe Catherine. I very much like the idea of trying to blend in. Joe Catherine says the Chuck summaries would be enough. Yeah, we would be demonetized fast if we did that.
Just the titles. Joe Catherine said were the titles.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out, because I don't know if it was me and Megan and Kyra and maybe Kelly at one point in book club got caught up in looking at the, what was the website where they posted all of the funniest romance covers? Like something about Scotchmen or something. I don't know, but we were killing ourselves laughing.
Yeah.
I don't know how we would incorporate that into a chat, but maybe if we picked the best ones and then did it. Oh, a PowerPoint presentation. That could be really good. I don't know. I haven't quite figured out what that would look like, but I'm going to write it down.
This is off topic, but my whole book Hyde finally came in. I'm very excited to read it.
Yay!
Because it has my library name on it.
Yeah. Let me know what you think once you're done, because I'm very curious. Yeah. I read that really fast. It was really gripping.
It's really short.
It is short. Yes. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I'm curious to see.
It's a high stakes game of hide and seek in an abandoned amusement park with a very large sum of a prize, but it turns deadly.
Yes. Big cash prize.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
It's Kirsten White's first adult novel. She's written a lot of young adult and middle grade, and this is an adult horror.
It is such a commercial premise.
I was just saying we're at about the halfway mark, so if we wanted to do a check-in of how everyone's reading, writing, whatever is going.
Yeah.
Cool. One more idea for chats, because we could talk about commercial premises too.
That would be really fun.
That's something
I
really
what that
enjoy.
even means in the current
landscape. Yeah.
Actually, no, I don't know the answer to that. So
I don't think anyone truly knows the answer to that, though, right? So it's, what we can talk about.
Yeah.
What that looks like. Okay, check-in time. How is everyone's writing going? Please chime in the comments too. How's life going? How's writing going? Yeah, give us an update. I'm gonna pressure you guys now. Emma, you are first on my left, so I get to point.
Question of how it's going is it's not.
That's also allowed. That's a check.
I think at our last write-in, I got a paragraph written, and it was the first time I had worked on revisions in a very long time. So yeah,
I still want that book to happen.
I know. I do too. I just started a new job, so that's been exciting, but it's also just been, and I'm going to move soon, so very consumed by all of that.
So you have a lot going on. Yeah.
We're gonna live in the same city again for the first time since college.
Yeah.
Did you find a house in the same neighborhood, or didn't get that?
I haven't found a place yet.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, hopefully once I get settled in, I can start working on that more again. So
there's still time to find a place that's just down the street.
No, I've started threatening all the neighbors, so we'll see what happens.
Move out now. A few rocks through the windows ought to do it.
Yeah.
I did re-sign up for Scribd, which I'm excited about. So I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. So I've been listening to some good stuff lately. So that's been nice.
And Kelly?
Not writing related, but I got my driver's license this week, which
Yay!
the first time
Yay.
ever I'm allowed to be alone in a vehicle. So
Awesome.
Being alone in a
Exciting.
vehicle is one of my favorite states to be in. I love it.
I do not like being in a vehicle at all. Let's get context. Megan, how's it going? How's writing going? How's life?
Going pretty well. I'm still chugging along on revisions. Yeah, making good progress. It's just taking forever because I have a lot of new scenes to write, and I also got a job that I started this week. It's a job doing computery things, which is what I went back to school to study, starting a couple of years ago. So I'm really, really excited. And it was a slightly overwhelming first week. So yeah, I don't really know what that means for my writing schedule moving forward because I'm a lot busier now than I was before. But I'm still hoping to get the revisions done by October. Yeah, mental health is at an all-time medium.
All-time medium.
So yeah, can't complain. I am reading. I just finished up a YA fantasy that was fine, and I'm reading Just Like Home, I think it's called, by Sarah Daly. I love the cover on that one, and so far the book is pretty good. Haunted house.
Nice.
Kid moves back to be with ailing mother. So
That sounds promising.
yeah, it's ticking a lot of my haunted house trope boxes so far. It had one moment that, like, genuinely, I was like, I don't like that. Nope, don't like that. Which doesn't happen a lot in books. So
Yeah. The only time I get that usually is for Stephen King books, like Bag of Bones and stuff. That will be like ooh, didn't like
sometimes
that.
I'm lying in bed at night and I think about that one description that probably if I read it now, I'd be like, oh, that's fine. But I hadn't read a lot of very serious horror at the time. And his like wife is dead or something, and he sees her under the bed and she has dust on her cheek. And that did not like that. No, thank you.
I can think of exactly the passage we're talking about. So apparently that burned into my prefrontal cortex as well. Yeah. So so sort of same for me. I'm just chugging along. No new jobs, but I am aiming for a 28th of this month deadline. So it's just a lot of writing. Something I'm excited about lately is I've been reading, I think it's Chris Fox's book, 5,000 words in an hour or something. And I don't think it's necessarily like unlocking anything, but it's just like made me realize like, oh, I do have a lot of distractions in the middle of my writing sessions. So that's something I've been working on in the last few weeks and ended up working really well. I'm getting a lot more words down. So that's something I'm excited about. That's about it. Let's see what people are saying in the comments. N. Griswold says, can you cover how to come up with good comp titles? I feel like I have no skills at this. I wrote that down. We can talk about that for sure.
I think it maybe be. Oh, sorry.
No,
I think it may be fun with a chat like that to take some like really well-known books that like everyone's kind of like familiar with like the plot and concept of, and say like if this book was, if you were like querying this book right now, like what would you comp it to?
That would be really good because I know a lot
that would
of
be a fun
people
chat.
are like, oh well, it's like this, but you don't want to use massive books for comp titles.
I really like the idea of talking just in general too about it because what paints a really vivid picture compared to what doesn't, it always sticks in my head when somebody used the example of like, oh, it's Mary Poppins meets the Terminator, and like instantly in your brain you're like, whoa, that paints a picture. I'd love a chat.
It's hard to do with books.
It's about that balance of like painting a picture while also like comping to current materials, like finding that balance is really important. And I also think people get like caught up sometimes on like feeling like their comp title has to be exactly the same as their book, you know, where it's really, you're just trying to like describe who would like your book, basically.
I think there's an interesting difference between like pitching your book on Twitter versus pitching it in a query, where like in the query you really do need it to be like, these are books that will appeal. Like if people like these books, they'll like mine. Whereas in Twitter you can kind of get away with more like, catchy things that aren't necessarily books, because you're just trying to grab focus really quickly.
Yeah, like it depends. Yeah, if you're saying this will appeal to readers of such and such, because yeah, that is important, because that agent will then be like, oh well, I can pitch it exactly this way, what I'm trying to sell the publishers. So yeah. Let's see. Jo Catherine is finishing a prompt challenge. Awesome.
Nice.
And Griswold says, I'm not drafting as much as I'd like to, but I'm writing a lot of ideas as they come to me in my notebook. I'm excited about all the ideas that my brain keeps cooking up. It's so funny you said that, because I literally have this open right now, because for some reason my brain is also flooding me with ideas, which is not helpful, because I'm not able to work on any of them. So I've been like emailing them to myself. And over the past couple of days, my inbox is like full now, and it's annoying me. So I like every once in a while I will like delete everything I send myself and put it in this brainstorming book. So I'm due to do that again. I don't know why people's brains do that, but it's nice if you're in, you know, an area where you can write it down and decide which one you want to pick.
Yeah.
Andrew Walker says, this week I've decided I'm not smart enough to revise this book yet. Oh man, that is a vibe. Yeah. Sometimes it is a case of like, I've literally had that feeling, and then I put the book down for a few weeks, and then I can come back to it. I'm like, okay, I can tackle it. I've had some distance. But sometimes it really is like, maybe I just don't have enough experience to tackle the subject yet, or the idea yet. So
yeah. Andrew, you've probably heard me say this before, but you said it's my first time revising, and I just don't get how people do this yet. So I'm going to plug again for anyone who might not know or might not have heard me say it yet. I absolutely love Susan Dennard's Guide for Revisions. I'm going to put a link to it in the discussion section now.
yes.
I think it is so thorough, so helpful. It really taught me everything that I needed to know to figure out how to revise. So I have it open right now. Yeah.
Yes.
I love it so much. I will never stop talking about it.
It really, like, it taught me how to revise, because like when I think we all kind of like tried to teach ourselves how to revise, though, and nobody really tells you it is a process that you have to learn, you know, like, and it can be so overwhelming, particularly if you're just beginning, even if you're not, because every book is going to be different and have different problems. So to have like a set, like step 1, step 2, step 3 is just so valuable.
And I have someone who treats it like it isn't like this magical process, like, oh, you just have to understand it. Like Susan always treats it like, no, like it's a science, just like anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is basically her version of like, here's a formula to fix what you've just written. And yeah. I think even if you've got a few books under your belt, it's still really valuable to sort of go through that and learn how to break it up.
Before her guide, I was just trying to consume so much information on writing that what my brain really needed was like one thing that isn't going to like lock me into any one way. Like one of the things I like is that she says, take what works for you, do those things, you can adapt them. I do it a little differently now, the more time has gone on, and I needed structure with enough room to actually develop my own revisions style.
For sure, yeah. Yeah. It is like, it's highly adaptable too, the way she lays it out. So It works pretty much for, for most styles. Let's see. Vanessa says, I've been doing revisions, but wanted to switch projects and trying to resist in order to finish something. Another mood. It's so funny because something I realized literally today, I bought a book to listen on Audible about women and ADHD. And it's like such a simple thing. And I can't believe I haven't realized it yet, because I was complaining to Megan like all last month, essentially, that like, oh, I'm so bad at doing 2 projects at once. Like, I just can't seem to make my brain switch gears. And in the ADHD book, the woman's like, oh, the author's like, oh, ADHD people have a hard time multitasking. Like, it's better if we have one thing at a time we're concentrating on, one project at a time. And I'm just like, oh, like, yes, this becomes so obvious now that somebody else has said, this is why you can't switch from to the next to the next. Because I know some writers can. Like, some writers have 2, 3, 4 projects and they're perfectly happy. I get the one, I go to the next one. But I cannot do that. Even if it's revisions and writing something, like 2 separate projects, can't do it. So yeah, I get where you're coming from, Vanessa. I say finish it, but I don't know. Some people can do multiple projects. And Griswold says, oh yeah, okay. Talking to Misty Kate about getting some writing done. Joe Catherine says, step 1.
I also want in on that. And Griswold, I really need to get 2,000 words in. So.
Are you in? I like this. I like enthusiasm. Joe Catherine says, ADHD Alien is my favorite comic about ADHD. Yes, I love that one too. The drawings are so cute, and it's also just like extremely relatable. I also like Joe Catherine says, step 1, pour drink. Step 2, open the Word doc. Yeah.
My step 3 for that would be get sleepy.
yeah. Get sleepy and close Word doc.
Start watching Netflix on laptop.
I've written 2 words. I'm good now. Yeah. If you haven't checked in the comments, please check in. Let us know. How's it going? How's your writing going? It's great to have a little check-in chat just to see how all the WordNerds are doing. Not just writing life, but life in general.
I'm still taking some classes. I'm like 2 classes away from being done with this degree program I've been working towards. And so I spent about a year doing different levels of this one programming language. And it was really hard. And the teacher had us doing all these really intense, like, here's how you build a form from the ground up. Here's how you make a button with rectangles and text and everything. And it was the worst. I hated every second of it. I don't like making things look pretty. And I like attributed it all to that class. And then week 1 of my new class, they've got us using Visual Basic or whatever. And you like open it and you start with a form and you can just click things and it'll add buttons for you. Things that I spent hours and hours and hours doing in my Java class. That's my grudge of the week, is that they made us do all that work in Java.
Ugh, the worst. I like the idea of having a grudge of the week.
Yeah, highly recommend.
I think the further you get into programming stuff, the more you'll realize that people have made tools to avoid all of the annoying things. They just don't teach it to you.
Now, what am I supposed to do with this knowledge that's just sitting in my brain for how to make a button from scratch?
I guess they need someone to make the buttons from scratch so that you can then click on. No?
It lives in the program.
Oh.
It's always there.
The concept of button.
Wow. Well, that's stupid.
So yeah, highly recommend a grudge of the week if you feel my spite.
I don't know why I'm writing that down too, but I am.
Yeah. Instead of doing productivity check-ins, I'm just going to start doing grudge
Grudge of
check-ins.
the week. I'm going to write it down in
What
my
are you
diary.
mad about?
My grudge of the week is really appeals to the spiteful nature in me.
Yeah.
Looking at
What
this
we
like
were-
2,000 word challenge that the three of you are doing, I guess, of like,
Yeah.
if we're just checking in next week, see who did it, maybe we can all start just like, what's the thing you want to do next week, and then we can just check in at the beginning.
I like
Just
it.
like we used to do for writing
We used
group.
to do for writing group. Yeah. Okay.
Back when we were being productive.
Yeah. In the comments, guys, if you have a goal for the week, it may be 2,000 words. Let us know in the comments, and then we will ask you next Sunday, if you're here, what was your goal and did you do it? I promise no guilting, maybe a little guilting.
Andrew said, what if I put off my revisions and write a 2K short story this week? I've tried it. Short stories are hard, and then the revisions are still there. It's a scam.
I like the idea of setting a goal. Actually, that could be something really fun we could do every week, honestly. Like, what's your small mini goal for this week, whether it's write 2,000 words, revise a page, whatever it is, and then check in at the start of next week's chat.
And if you're not in a place for goals, when
That's
we
okay,
check
too.
in, just tell us what your grudge was.
Yes. Joe Catherine says, my grudge this week is the way my pillowcases keep slipping off. That is a valid grudge.
Way too relatable.
Valid grudge. Okay.
So my goal will not be writing related. My goal is to actually drive a car alone for the first time.
Hey, that's a good goal.
I was going to do it the night out, but I wasn't on the insurance yet, and then it just became I'll get there eventually.
I'm trying to think of a goal of the week. I want to try to hit another 7K day. That will be mine. 7K day.
I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, but you're under a tight deadline right now.
A stupidly tight deadline. That is why. That's why 7K is my goal for one day. We'll see what happens. Yeah. That's what makes me want to drink. Also, speaking of grudge of the week type of thing, this is slightly different, but the scary hour, Megan, that you talked about the other day works so well. So yeah, I don't know if Megan, if you want to explain what the heck I'm talking
I didn't
about.
come up with it. I saw it on Twitter. I cannot remember who said it, but it was the idea of if you have a bunch of things, like I know I tend to let tasks stack up. Simple things like making phone calls or sending emails that, like, for whatever reason, I'm really, really stressed about. Like calling to set up appointments at the doctor. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Same.
And so depending on how many tasks, usually it's once a week, I'll have a scary hour, which is for 1 hour. I focus on doing as many of those scary things as I can get done in an hour. And once the hour is up, if I haven't completed them, that's fine. Those things can wait until the next scary hour, but I can rest easy knowing I got a bunch of things done. And it's a bunch more than I would have done before. And again, not my idea. Saw it on Twitter.
And it's always at the beginning of the day before where beginning of your work hours, so you get it out of the way first. And I tested that out, and I put like scary hour in my little day planner with like little spooky ghosts around it and stuff. Oh, Misty Kate says, wow, I really needed that. And she put a ghost. That's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, so I had little like, ooh, spooky ghosts written around the scary hour, and I blocked it out on my calendar because I realized I had been putting off, like I was supposed to call Chapters, the bookstore, and be like, oh, hey, you said that I should talk to you about a signing, but talking to people about a signing is very scary to me. And so I was putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And then I tried the scary hour thing, and I phoned them, and I got through to them, and we're setting something up now. So yeah, that was like, I don't think I would have done it otherwise without scary hour. So
general ADHD tip that Erin might find helpful, and I've seen elsewhere, of like a lot of neurotypical advice is like start your day with the big scary thing.
Yeah.
Like you haven't done anything. Whereas ADHD brains tend to benefit from momentum. of like
Oh,
do the scary thing after you've done a bunch of little things and you feel like you're in that groove of doing things.
In the zone, so to speak.
Yeah, probably more for like a big
Interesting.
thing rather than like a bunch of little things. But if you've got a bunch of little things at a scary hour, that might propel you to like a really productive afternoon.
Yeah, that might be true. Yeah, because I do feel like after I do something like that, my brain does think like, okay, everything is done now, and now I'm gonna watch TV after scary hour instead of get anything else done. So you might be right. I maybe need to like ramp up to it and be in the flow.
Yeah, Missy Kate, I do it once a week. I don't have enough scary tasks. I'm very privileged to not have enough scary tasks to need it every day. I haven't fully adapted to my new work schedule because it's like an 8 to 5. So I think I'm going to be putting scary hour during my lunch break now. Just once a week. I like to do like a nice Tuesday or Wednesday scary hour. Monday, it makes it scarier.
Yeah,
so similar to what I just said, doing stuff like that on Monday helps the rest of my week go better. Like I've got all these things done. I'm on a roll. Whereas if my Monday goes poorly, I've read off the whole week. It's like this.
Yeah. Oh, I tend to do that too. Yeah. If it's like, oh, this morning didn't go well or Monday didn't go well, so
my routine fell apart. I'll start fresh.
Oh my God, yes. The routine. If it's like even the slightest deviation from the truth. I went to the dentist the other day and I was like, well, the whole day is gone. It was like 2 hours tops. Well, the whole day finished.
Okay, so doing like scary things in the afternoon, but appointments in the morning has been definitely a game changer for me because I won't do anything else until the appointment. Like,
yes,
I'll just wait.
Yeah.
I don't know how long this other thing's going to take. I can't start it and stop, so I'll just do nothing.
It's so hard to explain to my husband why that is, like, because he's like, why don't you just set a timer if you're afraid you're going to be late? I'm like, I know I'm not going to be late because all I do is stress up until the moment.
Standing by the car for an hour.
Like, I have my keys in my hand and I'm sitting here. There's no way I'm going to be late. But it's not necessarily that. It's something, I don't know, a short circuit in the wiring. But yeah, scary art. I was just looking at Emmy's. This week I made some phone anxiety art instead of making the calls next week scary hour. So I said scary art instead. But yeah, scary hour is super helpful if you are somebody who struggles with that type of thing. I also found, and this isn't necessarily productivity focused, although it's like helping me a bit achieving my goals. I found, you guys know they're like they're not fidget spinners. They're like little plastic things that mimic how pot paper feels. You know what I'm talking about? What are they called?
With the U's, right?
The U's.
Fidget poppers.
Fidget poppers, yes. I bought one of those yesterday, and it is kind of a game changer because I will stim while I'm watching TV, and that usually means eating, unfortunately for me. But with this stupid fidget popper thing, I have been able to not do that. And it's just like, it's a little octopus guy and you can pop him in and out. And then he has little tentacles, which are the poppers. It's the most amazing thing. But yeah, that's not necessarily like so much. It's so satisfying. So yeah, not productivity focused, but a little bit if you're somebody who's like, I want to cut out all of the after 8 snacking or whatever, like super helpful. Pop it.
Yeah, kind of. Says, this post has a lot of stuff on it now. 2,000 words, great to the week, scary hours. What else do you have to make me adult this week? Anyone who didn't set a goal, I definitely want to hear if you did scary hours for when we like check in next week.
Yeah, and how they work too. With my scary hour, I've been setting it up so like I'll make myself a cup of tea during scary hour. Like I'm like, oh, scary hour is like 10 to 11 and I hate it. So I'm going to make myself a nice cup of tea and I'm going to put out like a nice fresh notepad. And so at least there's like some positive things about scary hour. But yeah, it's usually like dentist appointments and phoning people and having to talk to them.
For me, I feel like part of the thing that I've been trying to do a lot in my personal life is being better about like giving myself a break. Like if it's a busy week, I don't need to make a productivity goal. Like that's fine. Or like,
oh, for sure.
With the scary hour, it's comforting to me to know that like if I don't get to some of these things at the end, I don't have to feel guilty about it because I did some other things, even if I only managed to get through a few things. Like, okay, well, I did a few things. I probably wasn't going to do any of them for the next 3 weeks, so I don't have to feel bad that I'm putting off this one until later. Grudges just feel great, you know.
It's fun to be
it gives you something to feel like you have a goal, you know. Like, well, I'm just gonna spite my pillowcase this week.
Write down my grudge of the week. I do like that. I was also, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen my like sort of semi-terrible drawings. Like I had little potion bottles on a shelf because I'm trying habit trackers again. Because originally I bit off way too much with habit trackers because I had like 10 habits I wanted to start doing. So I'm just starting with 3, and like I kind of like the idea. It's like, okay, what would you go through in a day? And if you get one thing done that would make the day like, okay, today wasn't a waste of time. I did this one thing. What would it be? And then I just picked 3, you know. So I'm like, oh, even if I didn't get 10,000 words written, I don't know, plotted out the next scene or something. So I've been doing little habit trackers, and then instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I just did like a little potion jar, and then I can do like one little colored in little line each time, and then I get to see it fill up. Well, it's like so satisfying for some reason. All I can think of right now.
Girl Scout fundraisers.
Yes, yeah, where you fill it up, or where they like in the office where they want to tattoo Michael's butt, so they like fill up the thing. You know, I don't know why it's really satisfying. Joe Catherine, I made a character sheet for the new year as a goal vision board. I gave my character the ability to contact the living.
So I think they made a character sheet for themselves, and then the ability to contact the living is like the difficult phone calls and stuff. Like that's the skill that they have. So instead of contacting the dead,
that's
amazing. The ability to contact the living, which is an ability we all struggle with.
I love that.
That does sound like a
superpower. Yeah, it took me a second to be like, oh wait, that's amazing.
I love that. It took me a full minute, but I love that.
That is definitely something we should try to maybe on the list of ideas, and like when we do our goal New Year party, like we can all like assign ourselves superpowers that we want to have for the next year, but something like that.
Is able to call the dentist. I like the idea of making a character sheet for yourself. Loves coffee, hates the dentist. Yeah, I like that idea. That's very cool. Ability to contact the living. That's good. We are over an hour now. Is there anything anyone wants to add before we wrap up?
Next week, should we pick a topic for next week since we're brainstorming?
We have a lot of topics. Do you want me to read through the list and we can pick one?
Let's do it.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we have quite a few. All right, so we got video game chats, a real brainstorming chat, baking, favorite and least favorite, brainstorming a short story with viewers, Mad Lib, PowerPoint night, more read-ins, work parties, more write-ins, nano prep or Preptober, end of the year, well, that doesn't count, goal party, blind date with Sarah.
I've seen enough.
What's that?
You said goals for the next year, and we'll just take off.
We're done.
Yeah.
Take off your glasses. You've seen enough. No more 2022.
Chuck Tingle Book Club. Commercial premises. And comp titles. That was it.
So the tricky thing.
Titles.
Okay. Yeah.
Comp titles? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Next week, we're doing comp titles, everybody. We could, do we want to smash that together with the commercial chat, or do we want to do separate ones?
Yeah, I think we can.
Yeah?
Talk about both
Okay. All right, comp titles and commercial pitches, I guess, or ideas. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us. It was great to check in with everybody, see how everybody's life is going, see how everyone's writing is going. And we will see you next week to talk about comp titles and commercial ideas. Bye.
Bye.